going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video, and today it is going to be Gaperini. He is absolutely flying with Atalanta in the Serie A, so I thought, do you know what? That alongside of some suggestions, let's make this video happen. If you do enjoy the tactics, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and once again, if you do enjoy rebuilds, you need to come over to the second channel, Daily Josh, where we post a rebuild once every 2 to 3 days. The most recent one is Ruud van Nistelrooy's Leicester. So the first test we're going to do, obviously, is going to be with Atalanta. It would be, wouldn't it? Because it is the main topic of the video. Now, apart from a Champions League, which we didn't win, and the Italian Cup being knocked out by Blue Neri, that is Inter Milan for those that don't know. I think they've lost the rights now. We do win the Super Cup. We win that 3-0 over Real Madrid, which is always a very good sign because we can show that we can beat some of the best teams in world football. Now, the league, we can go and look at a nearly close to invincible season. The one loss is going to be against Brianza, who actually finished rock bottom, so quite disappointing, because we nearly did obviously make the dream happen. Now, I will say, in terms of player stats, we really did take home pretty much everything. Scamacca always plays well in this game for me. 21 goals. We've also got 20 goals from our second player there. We've got Soppy coming in with the best average rating, Samardzic picking up the most assists alongside of Soppy and also Ruggeri, and our goalkeeper, second most clean sheets. So overall, when you look at a well-rounded picture, we pretty much dominated everything. The most points, the most goals, the most shots, the most dribbles, the fewest conceded. Clean sheets, we are going to be in second place, a few behind Napoli, who enjoyed a very good defensive season. Possession, we're not going to be on there because, of course, we do play quite a counter-attacking style, but the fact we're outscoring some of these teams in the league is a real good statement, and we do go out and score 2.87 goals per game, 0.58 conceded, over 18.5 shots, a great pass completion, and attacker win ratio actually a little bit higher than what I thought it would be, because we have got a few players on close down more, as you would expect. But let's go and watch some highlights after winning the Serie A, and yeah, we'll take it. So this is a big game against one of the bigger teams in the game, AC Milan, a very tough team in this league, although you wouldn't think it based off this scoreline, as we are away from home, and this is going to be our second goal already inside of 44 minutes, with Samardzic going through and putting it into the top left-hand corner. And in the second half, we didn't slow down. Soppy down the right-hand side, a ball in the box into Scamacca to make it 3-0, and there's time for a fourth goal, and it's a battering. Test with RB Leipzig for no other reason than the fact that I love the team, and I will say again, similar to Atalanta, although I will say we did do well in the Champions League actually. We get to the final where unfortunately we are going to lose to PSG, but we made it a very good game, but unfortunately on the day they were a little bit too strong. Now, the Pokal, we are going to win 3-1 over Schalke. Credit to getting to the final for them. And the actual league, we did pick up a few more losses, but still a very comfortable season with Bayern very close behind us. Apart from that, though, no one else is anywhere near. Sesko doing Sesko things. Another player here with 16 goals. We've got Round, Seevald and Henriks coming in. This I like to show you because you can see how important the wingbacks actually are in this system. Also, Peter Galassi, the most clean sheets. So do you know what? This season, we complete everything. We've got the goals, the most clean sheets, the fewest conceded. We're also going to have, in terms of the possession, second most. So in some leagues you are going to have more ball than the others, and you will notice that depending on what league you're playing in. But what you'll see consistently is a lot of goals, and defensively you're an absolute brick wall. Now, the data hub, again, close to 3 goals a game, hardly any conceded, a very similar attacker win ratio. I believe a few less shots, but still got the job done. And the pass completion is, well, it's close to 90%. There's not really too much to complain about. But this Pokal final was an interesting one, to be fair, because we actually went 1-0 down inside of 4 minutes, which we do sort of bounce back literally around 30 seconds after with Benjamin Sesko to make it 1-1. Then, of course, it goes all the way to extra time, where they actually sort of make their own mistakes and gift us a goal to make it 2-1. And I think the heads were down because we go and get another goal, and obviously we wrapped it up 3-1. Not great from them. Then it is over to Chelsea, because usually with Chelsea, and I have a free back, I like to test with them because they've got a load of centre-backs, and why not? And as you can see, it was worth the test because we're going to win the Carabao Cup. We win that 2-1 over Fulham. Again, fair play to get into the final. And the Conference League, we win on penalties over Real Espardas, which is a lot more closer than what I would expect. Now, the Premier League, again, it wasn't that close in terms of points, but we do lose 4 games against Arsenal, Villa, Newcastle and Liverpool, but we do win 29 and draw 5. So we are obviously going to be the best team in the league. Now, Cole Palmer done really well in this system, playing in the AP role, had a great season all throughout and scored a ton of goals, and also picked up, like, I think 9 assists or something like that. So quite a good, well-rounded season. Jackson also having a great time. You can see Palmer again there. Sanchez picking up the most clean sheets. And even in this, you can see we just about scrape the possession with 54%. But defensively, we're incredible. Most shots incredible. And goals incredible. Everything that I'd expect from this Gaperini tactic we're doing. And it is, I believe, the least amount of goals we've scored per game. But we are in the hardest league. And we're not really like a top 3 team in the league in terms of actual player squad quality. So overall, a really good season. And I would actually argue, in Season 1 with Chelsea, to do this, you're overachieving massively. We weren't struggling against the big teams every single game. This is a real good example against Liverpool in a home tie where we actually win the game 3-0. One goal was from a set piece, but other than that, it was pretty much all through open play. And as you can see, yeah, they offered nothing. Now, over to your favourite part of the video, that is going to be the tactic breakdown. If you are enjoying, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. And once again, if you do enjoy rebuilds, make sure you come on over to my second channel, Daily Josh, because we're going to have an Atalanta rebuild coming out shortly using this tactic. So if you want to see how a tactic does over 5 years and the slight changes that I might make, that is the place to go. But to make this tactic, all you want to do is load in a create your own style, and just for easy sake, load in this formation will change when we talk through it. So then the first thing you want to do is instantly change that mentality, because we're not going to be unbalanced. We are going to be up to positive, because it's actually quite an attack and 3-back system. Now, to kick things off, we are going to go with that sweeper keeper, who is going to come in and actually play on defend. The reason he's on defend is because I want him to sweep, but I don't really want him to be attack and being too dangerous, you know. Be quite reserved, but obviously if he needs to make that sweeper move, I don't really want him set to a goalkeeper where he won't come out and do anything, but keep him nice and calm. Now, as a little treat and very realistic approach, we are going to use a libero in the middle, who is going to be set to defend, and he is going to have some very important instructions. That is going to be close down more and also set to tackle harder. I can already see the comment coming, how do you get closed down more? Essentially, clean slate everything, make sure it's exactly like this, and you will be completely fine. We're then going to go with 2 ball playing defenders. So on the right hand side, have him on defend. On the left hand side, have him exactly the same. Now on these ball playing defenders, very, very crucial, you have exactly the same instructions. Close down more and also stay wider. Now, although it is pretty common sense, I will explain for those that are wondering, why you've got them on stay wider is because these wing backs are going to push up ridiculously high, and having them ball playing defenders centrally means there's going to be a ton of space where the wing back should be. So just having them out wide helps a lot, and to be honest, I wouldn't recommend playing a single game without having someone like it, because it will mess you up big time. Now we're going to drag the formation into shape now so you can really get an understanding of what's going on, and it is going to shape up like this. So I think the next thing is going to be talking about the wing backs, but I do want to quickly say, if you're interested in getting all of these wonderful perks, including access to all 3 of the tactics today, you get them on Xbox, PlayStation, and on mobile. You get all of my rebuild files, one-on-one tactical help, access to giveaways, and so much more. You can come over and sign up to the Patreon, where we are running an exclusive 20% off any tier up until the end of Christmas. The best time to come on over. You get all of the perks for 20% off, so make sure you come on over and get stuck in. A lot of you did from the other day, so much love to everyone that done that, because it does mean a lot. But let's go through and talk about these wing backs. So we are going to have them set to attack, and we are going to have them both on that, by the way, because as you can tell by the assists, it's definitely not a one-man band. So going over to the wing back instructions, and there is quite a fair few, so bear with me. We are going to have cross more often. We are also going to have them always crossing at the far post. We're going to have them set to run wide, stay wide, and also close down more. So let me quickly apply that to the next player as well before I forget the instructions. So again, close down more. We're going to have them on cross more, far post. We're going to have them on run wide and also stay wider. So they should be exactly the same as the left and on the right. Now, these wing backs are going to play such a big role in your team, so make sure you've got good attacking wing backs. If you don't have good attacking wing backs, this tactic might not be for you, or you could play a slightly more reserved version where you're not going to score as many goals. Putting it bluntly, I always tell the truth whether a tactic will work for your team or not. In this system, you need very, very good attacking wing backs. When I say very good, I don't necessarily mean Trent or Robertson, just decent wing backs who can put a ball in. and have the legs to go up and down. Now going over to the midfield, we are actually going to have a default DM with simply no instructions, and to partner him, not another DM, we are going to go with a roaming playmaker, or you could have used a volante. In my opinion, I'm leaning towards the roaming playmaker. Now he's going to have 2 instructions, move into the channels and also set to tackle harder, which brings us on to the front 3, which of course are responsible for doing a lot of the goal scoring and sort of assistance. So when it comes to the AP, he is going to come in on the left, and he is going to be set to support, and he's going to have one very key instruction, and that is roaming from the position. It just makes the team a lot more fluid, a bit more sort of, you know, position, everyone sort of interchanging, and at the end of the day, when he's partnered with this player, who is going to be an AM, who is going to be set to moving into the channels and roaming, they exchange positions, they link up the play, and it all goes well with a very, very, very sort of agile roaming sort of vibe with the advanced forward on tackle harder and roaming from position. Now, in real life, obviously, they don't necessarily always start Skamaka, but in this game, he done so well for me, I sort of was like, do you know what, I'll go with it. And even a player like him, who is not really known for being the most agile and that sort of vibe, he done very well in the role, so you can even use a player like Skamaka with this sort of set of instructions. But the team instructions, we are going to go up to fairly wide, we're going to work the ball into the box with low crosses selected, we're going to pass into the space, overlap left and overlap right, while focusing down the left and the right hand side as well, and of course playing out from the back. We have 2 ball playing defenders and a libero. You have to be playing out from the back. We're going to run at defence because that is our dribbling style. The tempo is going to go up to 1, 2 slightly higher, which pushes us in to the in transition. Counter press, counter, play to the centre backs, we've got 3 of them, and also take short goal kicks. And lastly, for the default version, we are going to go right into outer possession and deploy the higher defensive line, trap outside, prevent short goalkeeper distribution, and of course max out that trigger press to much more often. And that's going to give you this version. And now to the attacking version. Now this is perfect, and I mean perfect, if you are trying to get into a game, going in against a weak team, you're trying to outscore them, this will get the job done. And you can see, we're going to talk about the real change first. So the mentality is going to go up to attacking. The advanced forward remains the same. We then introduce 2 shadow strikers instead of the AP and the AM to make it a lot more aggressive, both on roam from position. The Roman playmaker comes in, a volante comes in on the default opposed to the DM. So it's actually, the Roman playmaker does remain the same, but the volante changes pretty much everything. The wingbacks, they remain the same, and also in terms of these, they are also going to remain unchanged because we've changed so much bringing in the volante, 2 shadow strikers. There's only so much you can change before you go technically a little bit overkill. Now in possession, there is not going to be too much difference, so the whip remains the same. All of this good stuff remains exactly the same as you would expect because it worked well in the default tactic. There's no reason to change it. Of course, we're going to run at defense. The tempo is going to be maxed out to higher on this occasion, and in transition, the only real change here is actually what you'd probably expect, which is going to be distributing the ball quickly. I'm not here to waste your time, so we'll blitz through that. Out of possession, of course, there is going to be one big change. That is going to be introducing the much higher defensive line. Much more often, prevent short goalkeeper distribution, get stuck in, and also set to trap outside. And that tactic right there is a tactic which will get you back into a game, or if you're playing as a clear powerhouse like a Madrid, like a PSG, you can go into your games actually from the start with that tactic. Now, a defensive tactic to obviously seal out the games with, and I will say the mentality is going to remain on positive, because on balance, I'll be honest with you, because of the changes we've done, it's a little bit too negative, so you still need to keep that positive mentality. The goalkeeper remains the same, as does the entire 3 centre-backs. The wing-backs, however, simply both now on defend and also close down and tackle harder. The same for the left is going to be the same for the right. The DM on the left comes in to occupy another DM on the right. We've got one of them on tackle harder because I don't want both of them diving into challenges, but one of them, I'm not against it because we've got more than enough players to sort of bail him out if he misses the challenge. Obviously, if your player's on a booking, this would be one of the instructions you would take off, but I ain't got a crystal ball. I don't know what player's going to get booked, so make sure you're paying attention to that one. The AM comes in on pass it short, shoot less, roam and move into the channels, and the AP partners in on pass it short, roam and move into the channels, with the advanced forward remaining the same as the default version. Now, going over to the team instructions, we are going to have a lot of the same principles, but we're just going to change it up a little bit. So fairly wide is going to remain the same. This will remain the same. The dribbling style, of course, always going to be the same. this is where it gets interesting, because if you've got them, you got my set pieces, play for them, because you can get lots of goals from them alone. And if you are using this tactic to defend a game out with, have time wasting set to sometimes. If you're going into a game, do not time waste from minute 1. Pretty common sense, but I will say it is completely game dependent. Now the tempo does remain the same, the passing goes up by 1 to slightly more direct. We are going to pass into the space, and because our wing backs aren't really attacking, there's no reason to over that, but we still are going to focus down the left and the right while playing out from the back, but just remove the overlap and need. In transition, we are going to regroup and then counter when we have won the ball. And we're going to slow the pace down when the goalkeeper has it, because, you know, we are being a little bit more reserved, so it's pretty simple. If you are using this again going into a game, you could have the argument that you don't want to slow the pace down, so I'll leave that up to you. That is completely in your hands. Now, because the fullbacks aren't actually going to be pushed all the way up now, they're going to be sitting quite deep, we are going to play to anyone across the back line. Again, a little bit more of a sensible option. And lastly, out of possession, we are going to deploy the standard line with that high press much more often, prevent short goalkeeper distribution, and simply get stuck in. And that's going to give you 3 variants of the great Gaperini. You've got the normal version, you've got the attacking version, and the defensive version, suited for any single team and any single game situation. Make sure you go on over and get all 3, or copy all 3 from the video, because having them all at your disposal is so much easier than simply, you know, doing loads of changes mid-game. You can click one button and completely change your game. If you have enjoyed, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Comment below the next tactic you want to see, and yeah, let's leave a like for Gaperini, because that team is looking flawless in Italy.